All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now live. Time and time, I do these. Time and time again, I do these call-in shows where I allow naysayers, detractors, contrarian individuals to call in and try to question me or debate me about the indigenous origins of Black Americans. The call-in show is really for everybody, though. I mean, even if you just have general questions about genealogy, tribal benefits, tribal citizenship, you can call in, ask away. Lord knows I provide genealogy consultations through my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com. This is a good way for you to just pick my brain for free 99, right? Now, if you ever call in and you don't get me live, you get my voicemail. Leave a message, let me know your name, what you're calling about. I'm going to have my team add you to a callback list. And next time I do one of these pop-up live call-in shows like I'm doing right now, we're going to give you a call back. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I've got a list of about at least 30, 40 people who've called over the last few days alone. Let's go ahead and give them a call back. See who's going to pick up. See what's on folks' mind, whether it's general questions about genealogy or whether they want to get into a good old-fashioned debate. But guys, make sure to check out the website, nativeblack.ancestry.com. I built that website out with tons of historical resources for you on your journey of discovery. And let's see, who's going to be the first person that we call back? I got a 904 area code. Somebody in the chat, live or watching the replay, let me know where's 904. Is that East Coast? Is that West Coast? Is that Midwest?
Your call has been forwarded to.
All right, and that's a straight to voicemail. Let's try this 313 number. And if anybody wants to call in live while I'm trying to do these callbacks, the call-in number is on the screen, area code 405-351-4721. Go ahead and call in. Don't be shy. Anyone and everyone is welcome to hit the phone line. Let's try this 313 number.
Hello.
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back.
What's happening, Mike?
Hey, nothing much. Just trying to get back to folks like yourself who've called and not had a chance to chop it up with me yet. So let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
I'm calling in from Detroit.
Detroit, okay. Well, lay it on us.
Yeah, we talked before. We're not live, are we?
Oh yeah, we are live. Whenever I do these callbacks, we are always live. But you know, I'm new to kind of putting together this callback list, so I may have placed you on the callback list on accident, not realizing that we already had a discussion.
Yeah, we already had a discussion.
Okay, most stuff. Well, if you don't have anything new for us or any new questions or anything, I'll just go ahead and jump to the next call.
No, it's I just wanted to check on the progress of the genealogy research. I got a deadline coming up soon.
Oh yeah. Now it's coming back to me. First name, if you will. We don't want to dox you or anything. First name will do.
Vern.
Vern, yeah. Let me pull up my calendar real quick, Vern. Give me just a moment. Vern. You know what, Vern? I want to make sure that you didn't slip through the cracks. What's the understanding that you have of when that deadline is?
That deadline is coming up. It's July.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, on my calendar, I typically put notes for more recent deadlines, like over the next 2 weeks or so. But yeah, no, if your genealogy research was estimated to be completed by July, then by all means, we're moving full speed ahead. You'll get your results then. Now, if there is a situation where I come across some documents that need extra time to translate or verify, then I'll definitely reach out to you. if anything were to change with that deadline. But as it stands, we're all set for July.
Yeah, the research really wasn't the important part.
Oh, well, do tell more.
That was just the beginning. We were sort of putting together a small documentary, if you remember.
Ah, yes. You know what? I think you sent a text message to that effect as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Now, I would give you a slight correction and say the genealogy is still, a very, very crucial part. I mean, everything is
Yeah, I've done most of that. Myself. There was probably very little left that you had to do.
I got you. Well, you know what?
But either way, we need to catch up on that so we can get this done. We need to have a chat so we can get it right. There's a little bit of information you need to know, and we can keep the project rolling forward.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, we're definitely on the line right now, so we can have that chat whenever. But refresh my memory a little bit. Typically, when people hire me for genealogy research, it's because the research itself is of paramount importance to them, and oftentimes they reach certain brick walls and doing the research on your own. But you're saying that that's not the case. You really didn't need much help with the genealogy research, but it's mostly about this documentary film project.
Yeah, I really like how you put your information together, and I wanted you to put together probably about an hour-long video explaining the whole concept to my family, because they're really not understanding the research and what it means. That was the important part. You wanted to go over the genealogy to make sure everything was intact, which was fine. But I know my genealogy very well. Everything is good. You recall now?
So you're saying when you initially booked me for a genealogy consultation, you expressed that you didn't really need me to trace your genealogy. You more so wanted me to take your existing research and do a 1-hour video so that I can explain it to your family?
Yeah, it was pretty much based off of your information and what you put out, your documentation, your areas of research. You would explain the situation a whole lot better. That's what I actually hired you for.
I got
The
you. I got you.
genealogy
And
research was just to make sure
is
everything was intact.
is Vern short for Vernon, or is it just Vern?
It's just Vern. If you call me, when we're not on air, we can go over all the details and get everything in order.
Well, do you remember what month we had our initial consultation?
This was probably September. I don't remember right off the top of my head exactly what month. I know it was last year.
Okay, so September of last year, roughly. Yeah, I just want to pull up your consultation notes, because whenever I have somebody book a genealogy consultation with me, there's a form that they fill out where they let me know what their purposes are for hiring me for a consultation, et cetera, et cetera. So I just definitely want to make sure that we're on the same page in that regard, because I've had this come up a couple different times in the past where not really like this situation where someone doesn't really care about getting the research done and it's more so about the video. But I've had a few people in the past where it's a combination of the two, where not only do they want to get their research pushed back further than they were able to go, but they also want to present it in a video format that's very easy for their family to digest. And that's kind of like a custom offering that I've done for a couple other people. So yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. And actually, if you can send me an email, if you send me an email once we get off the line, you'll come to the top of my inbox so that we can make sure we're both on the same page there. Because, typically, if that's your main goal, then I wouldn't really even waste your time, waste my time doing genealogical research on your family. If you more so already have the research done and you just want me to present, a presentation on it, then, for me and my team to be spending months on and tracing your heritage isn't really necessary. And perhaps that would also lower the rate that you paid for genealogy research. Because again, this is a genealogy research package. It's not a video production package, so to speak. So by all means, what I want you to do is shoot me an email. We'll definitely get in touch on the back end when I'm off air, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page so that you weren't paying for services that you actually didn't need at the end of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that would be nice because I already paid in full for everything. But you're right, the genealogy.
And you paid in full for genealogical research, right?
Yeah, I paid in full for everything.
So if you didn't really want genealogical research and you just wanted me to take the research you already did and present an hour-long video, then that's a whole different topic of discussion. I wouldn't have signed you on as a client for genealogical research and been doing research on your family for months on end if you didn't really care about getting research done and you felt that you already had sufficient research and you just wanted me to give my expertise and my historical context into presenting a family presentation for you. I mean, that's a whole other thing entirely. So by all means, shoot me an email. We'll get in touch on the back end. I'll definitely cross-reference the form that you filled out when you booked the initial consultation to see if that was in the notes as well. Because if it is something that's in the notes and I just missed it somehow, then, at bare minimum, I'd like to, expedite this process for you and hurry up and get that video produced and, perhaps also provide you with a bit of a rebate if we don't actually have to do full-fledged research on your family, if that makes sense.
Right. That's where we're at. That's the understanding I was trying to convey to you the last time we talked. I don't know if you got it that way, but when I
I talk to dozens of people a day. I got over 60 clients I'm working with.
I completely understand, bro. Yeah. I do. I completely understand. And when we talked before, we had the understanding that it's not really a rush project. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure it gets done on time. It's like if you're not going to be able to do it, I'm going to need somebody else to do it. So I just got to make sure this project, is right on schedule to be done. There's like
definitely
300 to 400 people waiting on it. I know you.
Yeah. And you mentioned July being the deadline. I mean, if it's not a situation where we have to keep doing research and it's more a situation where you just want me to spend some time to put together a video presentation, then we can probably get that wrapped up a lot more sooner than July. Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably use like some clips of some videos you've done already. It probably won't even take you long to do this. You might be able to knock this out in a couple hours, really.
Oh yeah, exactly. We're on the same page. It's just for whatever reason, when you originally signed up for the genealogy research package, I don't think that was clear enough, or at least I didn't really realize it because by all means, I wouldn't have signed you up for a research package. We would have just worked out something custom to where I can put together some information on topics that you're interested in, maybe look at geographical areas that your ancestors are from to make sure that the historical portion is more so predicated on the migration patterns of your ancestry. For example, if they're out and I don't have your file in front of me. So just for example, if they're out in Tennessee or Virginia or Arkansas, making sure that there's also knowledge being given about the pre-colonial history of those areas and what tribes were there and what skirmishes and which clans were shipped as slaves to the Caribbean or to other plantations in the South. So, there's a lot of historical context that needs to be given on a project like that. That's really unique to the areas that your family is living in. But yeah, by all means, shoot me an email real quick so that you come at the top of my email. And then when I get off of here, I'm going to take a look at the meeting notes from our initial consultation and I'll hit you up after that.
All right. Which email do you want me to hit you on?
Oh, you're breaking up. What was that?
Which email do you want me to hit you on?
Oh, Mike@nativeblack.ancestry.com. That's my only email.
Okay. You sure?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely know if I have more than one email that I use to communicate with people. Yeah. Mike@nativeblack.ancestry.com. Just like the website.
I got you.
nativeblack.ancestry.com.
I got you. I'm sending you an email right now.
All right, for sure. I'll be in touch with you, brother. Peace.
All right. Talk to you soon. I appreciate you, Mike.
All right. Yeah, guys, talk about throwing me for the loop. I ain't never had somebody sign up for a genealogy research package, but not really want genealogy research, just want a video done on their family. I mean, if you signed up for genealogy research in September and you really just wanted a video, we could have got you the video by December at the latest. I mean, Lord knows I'm a one-man show with the live streams and the call-in shows and the consultations and the genealogy research, but we can definitely expedite things for folks if they don't need Mike to actually trace their maternal and paternal line all the way back to the late 1700s, which is what I do for folks who take a genealogy consultation with me and at the end of the consultation decide, I'd rather leave it to the professionals. But if you go to my website, nativeblackancestry.com, don't be surprised. You will not see any genealogy research package for sale, no genealogy research package being advertised. The only thing that you guys have the ability to do is book a genealogy consultation, because I'm a firm believer in teaching a man to fish instead of giving a man to fish. So during those one-on-one genealogy consultations, I actually teach the 3-step process that me and my family used to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation back in 2021. And then by the time I'm done teaching that, some people are like, damn, Mike, that's great information. That's exactly what I needed. Now I can take that information and finish out my genealogy research on my own and save money, not having to hire a professional. And then other people are like, Mike, it's cool you taught me how to do it, but I'm a doctor, I'm a trucker, I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother of 5. I just don't have the time to do it. I just rather leave it to the professionals. So that's where you hear the genealogy research package being discussed. But let me see. Let me make sure we mark him off the list, because he said he called in last time too. I got so many people that give me missed calls. I really can't be wasting time calling people back who we've already recently spoke to. So I'm gonna try to get a little bit sharper with the call-in list. And before we make this next call, 214 area code, let me get caught up with the live chat real quick. Looks like we got some folks or one folk active in the chat. Let me see. I got so many screens in front of me. Oh boy, multitasking is a multitasking is a skill. Ty Lee, nice to see you, Ty. Night Sky Bright is in the building. I've been seeing Night Sky in a lot of my live streams as of late. I think you said that you started tuning into the content like a week or two ago, so nice to have you. Let's see. Oh, Trolls in the chat. Don't be scared. I literally have a call-in link, or excuse me, not a call-in link. I have a call-in number. I've got a call-in number. You can be anonymous with your trolling, *67 it, but at least have the testicular fortitude to call in and say it with your chest. Luke says you need a customer service line. Actually, I do have a customer service line. It's on the screen. 405-351-4721. Anybody and everybody can hit the line. I'll get back to you when I can. And if you're talking about a line for clients, most clients have my direct cell number or communicate with me through email. Poor Hackers is in the building. Nice to see you, Poor Hackers. What is Luke talking about? It's hard to get a platform going. It's even harder to maintain it. That's why we hire people to certain things. Yep, yeah. I would have to agree. Night Sky says I might call in tonight. Well, hey, don't be shy. Go ahead and call that number if you feel up to it. Let me know what's on your mind. But 214 area code, we're going to go ahead and give you a call back now.
Peace, good brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing well. Just taking the time to give you a call back. Let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Okay. Are you on live?
Oh, yeah, always. You called me watching the live, so I'm going to call you back on the live. Let's go.
Okay, well, hey, everybody. My name is Duamatef Anatun. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. Kind of caught me off guard. I was just, I've been enjoying your shows. I've been sharing them. And, yeah, I was interested in like a consultation or something, like a genealogy and stuff. I know a little information as far as like my mom's side and stuff like that, but yeah, I was interested in trying to book a consultation with you, and we go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, I ain't really have too many. I don't have any problems or issues. Now, I do happen to be a student of Dr. Malachi Z. York, my cool Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle, and but I'm a little different than a lot of people you may have met. So, I don't really, I'm not into like the intellectual masturbation or out here debating people for no reason. I'm into facts, and I respect the person's research, um, you know. But I know everybody's on different levels, so I try to meet people on their levels. But as far as the conversation is at hand, um, yeah, I would like to do some genealogy work. I have one relative in particular that I'm very interested in. Her name is Fleece Day Turner. She's from Louisiana, and all my relatives tell me, I only met her once when I was young, but they always say how she was a Native American, Indian. She smoked cobstone pipe, and I think she made patch quilts, but no, I think my other ancestor made patch quilts or whatever. But when I asked what tribe she was from and things like that, they don't know. Um, but so I asked like where she was born, and they tell me well she was born in slavery, and they don't really know nothing more past that. So therefore, I
I
was
see.
so I was what I'm saying, interested in doing some work with you to see if we could go a little farther, because as most people who do genealogy, they run into problems in like the 1700s and
Mm.
1800s and things of that nature. But as far as cultural fluency, I've learned a lot, and and you've been able to put a lot of things in place for me based on your own experience. You know what I mean? A lot of times when we deal with these things, uh, we it depends if we're dealing with somebody who has experience or a person that don't have experience at all. Some people just be guessing and moosing and making up stuff. You know what I mean? But when you're dealing with a person who has experience, you know, all we can do is take don't take it for granted, and uh, just try to make it work for you. I'm just, you got me at the wrong time because you on live, and I done seen how you done did some people live. I ain't trying to get done like some of the people you done did. You know what I mean? But yeah, you kind of got me off guard because you like you said, you live. And I'm over here trying to make dinner with me and my wife. You
Yeah, I feel you. Well, to address the first thing you brought up, genealogy consultation. It's a really easy and streamlined process to book a consultation. You just go to nativeblackancestry.com, scroll down on the homepage, you'll see a book now button. I've even got a few video testimonials from genealogy clients so you can see how others feel about the service. And from there, it takes you into a portal where you can access my calendar, pick a day and time that works for you. But were you more so wondering? Oh, we lost him, guys. We'll see if he calls back. Maybe his line got disconnected. But yeah, that was an interesting one. He started off saying he wanted to book a genealogy consultation. Then he pivoted to he's a student of Dr. York. I really hope he calls back because after I explained to him how to book a consultation, I was gonna ask him like, what does it mean exactly when you say that you're a student of Dr. York? Because I've had a few of those type of people call into my show before, and they'll claim I'm a student of Dr. York or Dr. York is my master teacher. And guys, I'm an expert on American colonialism, genealogy, tribal history. I don't study whatever field Dr. York is a part of because I've literally never came across a Dr. York in my research. I know there's a lot of people online that speak about a Dr. York. I think he's like in prison for like crimes against children or something. I don't know, but in all honesty, I mean, I hoped he would have stayed on the line because I'd really love to hear a student of Dr. York exactly, excuse me, tell me exactly what Dr. York teaches or what they're a student of. Like, is Dr. York a Pan Africanist? Does he teach about reclassified American Indians. I mean, chat, help me out. We've got people live with us right now. We got people, thousands of people who are going to watch the replay. Post something in the comment section. Let me know what your understanding is of what Dr. York's teachings are, because I don't have any idea. With the little information I have, I would put it in the spherical realm of Pan-African, Moorish, Science Temple, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite-esque stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Hell, I'll do a Google search real quick. What is Dr. York a teacher of? And I hope some of you guys leave comments, because maybe this Google search is not going to do your doctor justice. So I don't know. Dr. York. Oh no, they're pulling up like white ladies named Dr. York who are like doctors of medicine. Okay, I see. He also goes by Malachi Z. York. Okay. Actually, he has a few names. Good Lord, he has a few names. They're starting off with his mugshot. This is crazy. This is actually a little bit crazy. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna share my screen with you real quick. I'm gonna stop the screen share I'm currently doing and share my screen. Yeah, I mean, damn, I wish he stayed on the phone, because I was literally right after I explained to him how to book a consultation, I was going to be like, hey, so can you enlighten us as to like what you learned from Dr. York, or what is his school of thought? But yeah, either way, we found him. Dwight York, arrested in 2002. Okay, other names: Malachi Z. York, Issa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, and others. Nubian Nation, guys, I have no idea what a Nubian Nation is. I don't know what Nubians are. I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when that caller called in, didn't he say his name was like some long, like African sounding name? I swear he gave us like a name that was like a unique name, to say at least. I just remember it was really unique. It stood out to me. It was giving me Pan-African vibes. But yeah, his organization is Nubian Nation. He's incarcerated. Oh, criminal charge. Underage touching the no place abuse. You guys can read that for yourself. We don't want to get flagged here. Criminal charges is damn. I'm trying to be non-biased, y'all, but I will never get online talking about I'm a student of a man who's literally incarcerated for crimes against minor children. I mean, a minor. Lord. I don't know. You know what? I'm starting to think, guys. I'm starting to think that caller didn't have the call get disconnected. I think he hung up on my face. I think he just hung up on me, real brash like. Because it's coming back to me now. He started off with a long, lengthy African name. Then he said something about booking a consultation with me. Then he pivoted to Dr. York. Then he pulled some like, I'm not into intellectual masturbation, but I try to meet people where they at. And then before he hung up, he hit me with a, yeah, Mike, you're live, and I wasn't expecting this, and I don't want you to do, or I've seen how you do other people. That's what he said. He sees how I've done other people. And I mean, sometimes people call in to challenge me and I debate them. So did he have something he secretly wanted to debate me about? Was he going to try to preach the Nubian Nation gospel? I mean, damn, he's incarcerated for 135 years. He's out in Florence, Colorado. Okay, guys. Malachi York, aka Dr. York, aka Dwight York, aka Issa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, is an American religious leader best known as the founder of the Nubian Nation, a new religious movement that has existed in some form and under various different names since the 1960s. The Nubian Nation is identified by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hate group advocating Black supremacy. Interesting. Other observers describe the Nubian Nation as an African-American spiritual movement that had taken different forms since its inception. Okay. York's origins are contested. After converting to Islam in prison in 1967, he began preaching to African Americans in Brooklyn, New York during the Black Power movement. He last called his group the United Nubian Nation of Moors, the Nubian Nation, or Nubians. These were at first based on pseudo-Islamic themes and Judaism. Later, he mixed ideas taken from Black nationalism, cryptozoology, Christianity, UFO religions, New Age, the sovereign citizen movement, and popular conspiracy. Okay, I got it. So anybody who calls in and tells me that they're a student of Dr. York is batshit crazy. I guess that's what I'm left to assume from what's publicly available about Dr. York. I mean, if the caller stayed on the line, we could have had a conversation. Maybe he could have explained in his own words what this UFO, New Age, sovereign citizen, Christianity, cryptozoology, black nationalism shit is about with pseudo-Islamic themes. Guys, I got to click on cryptozoology. What the hell is cryptozoology? Does anyone know? Crypto, it's paranormal. Okay, astral projection, astrology, aura, okay. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Let's get back to our regular schedule programming. I just had to go down a little rabbit hole of like who exactly is Dr. York. I mean, since the guy name dropped him and said he's a student of him. And you know what? Let me go back to that page. Before we do our next call, I wanted to actually click on the link for the Nuwaubian Nation to see what this whole thing is about. Okay, there's the flag. I see why they called it pseudo Judaism with Islamic themes, because this is like a mixture of Jewish symbolism and Islamic symbolism. But all right, yeah, Star of David and an Ankh, yeah, right. I'm just like, okay, religious organization, Nuwaubian police, they're eclectic, Allah, God. 1,400 people, yeah, community, New Age and UFO religion, Jewish themes, Moors and Georgia. Okay, so they're bad shit pseudo niggas. Got it. We don't need to spend any more time on that. Let's go ahead and get to our next call. Before we do, let me catch up with the chat. See if we have any other students of Dr. York in the chat. You know, I'm not trying to do your Messiah a disservice. We give everybody a fair shake over here. Let me see what the chat's talking about real quick. Night Sky Bright said, hell nah. Saying you follow a man like that is not a flex. Hey, I don't follow no man. My damn sure ain't going to get online saying I follow a convicted pedophile. OG Night Owl says, Nuwaubians are delusional black people, but to each its own. That's their leader, just proving Native Black Americans are not a monolith. Okay. They go on to say, any fool can make a religion. That's why our people need to understand it's a big difference between knowledge and belief. Yep. Hey. The only thing I preach over here is genealogical research. And I guess Dr. York doesn't preach that, because if he did, then oh boy wouldn't be calling in to me to inquire about a consultation. But hey, next caller is 313 area code. Let's give them a ring, see if they pick up. I'm gonna start Googling these area codes. I'm curious where these places are that you guys are from. This next one is Detroit. It's not the same dude, is it? It's just another person from Detroit.
Good evening, sir. God bless you.
Hey, you're live with Mike.
Hey.
Giving you a call back. How you doing?
Live with Mike. I know you're a busy gentleman. Thank you for putting me on point. How are you today?
Doing well. I can't complain. But lay it on us. Let us know what's on your mind.
Well, only thing that was on my mind, a friend of mine he sent me one of the videos of yours, and I looked at it last week. I was excited. I think you said you Cherokee, the Cherokee tribe.
I'm a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation.
Muskogee Creek Nation, yes. So, my family, I live in Detroit, Michigan. My family's from Oklahoma City. My dad's went to Douglas. And, they've always told me I've had some Indian roots, but I never knew what to do to go about trying to research my history.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what prompted my call.
I feel you. Well, in order to search your history, you really got to start off by tracing your maternal and paternal line back to, say, the late 1700s, early 1800s.
Okay. And obviously maternal, paternal. So dad's from Oklahoma City and mom's from Clayton, Alabama. And they didn't meet until he came up to Detroit when he was 17 years old. He's 91 now. But, and he's And the real blessing, he's pastoring the church in Oklahoma City. He's been a minister all my life, Faith Memorial Baptist Church over in Kelly. So, yeah, but whatever I could do to employ your assistance to help me with this journey, I would certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, and it is wise of you to seek a little bit of guidance because I mean I know I said trace your maternal and paternal line back to the late 1700s, but really it's more complicated than that because your maternal has a maternal and a paternal, and your paternal has a paternal and maternal. So next thing you know, we're looking at so many different branches going through so many different territories through different eras in time. But if you want more personalized guidance, you want to connect with me one-on-one, just go to my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com. I provide one-on-one genealogical consultations where I teach you the 3-step process that me and my family used to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation back in 2021.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you do go ahead and book a consultation, make sure to use the coupon code TikTok. That's one word, all lowercase, and that's going to hook you up with a 20% discount.
Very good. TikTok and lowercase, and that gives me 20%. All right. Well, look forward to working with you, and thank you for calling me back.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Look forward to connecting with you. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. I'm pressed for time. I'm going to start trying to get through these calls sooner than later. Lord knows we spent too much time on the Nuwabians, whatever they called. If anybody wants to call in, the call-in number is in the chat as well as on the screen. And we got to start giving folks like 3, maybe 4 rings. I'm looking at this list of callbacks I got to do, and it's extensive.
Hello?
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back. How you doing?
Oh, wow. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Oh, staying busy. We're live right now, so let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan, man. I actually meant to call you some days ago. I wanted to ask you some questions about doing the genealogy thing, because I had actually did some research on the website myself, and came to find out my last name's in Washington, and I guess my name kind of pops up in all of the different tribes that they had at that time. So I'm just wondering, like, what's like the process do I actually go through to actually properly, basically just like do the proper genealogy? And I guess I should probably do a consultation with you, because obviously that's something that you'll probably do one-on-one with somebody. But I just wanted to have like a basis of understanding, like, how do I go about doing that?
Yeah, great question. And you're totally correct. You know, during those one-on-one genealogy consultations that I provide through my website, we go real in depth. I share my screen with you, go through records, show you step by step how you would go about tracing your heritage. If you wanted to save some money and not have to hire a genealogist, you wanted to do it on your own, then I'm gonna lace you up with some game. But just to give you a high-level overview on what the process entails, step number 1 is going to be creating a family tree that traces your maternal and paternal line to at least the late 1700s, early 1800s. And then from there, as far as what step 2 and step 3 is, that's going to be heavily determined based on what your overall goals are for the research. I mean, some people want to do genealogy research because there's oral tradition of land being in the family, and they want to find where that land is and see if they can get title to that property. Or some people do the research because they heard so-and-so was enslaved and they want to find out what plantation they were enslaved, and were they a Native American enslaved and reclassified, or is there records of them being shipped in from Africa or the Caribbean, right? There's some people who've heard oral tradition of their ancestors fighting in the Civil War, and they want to know what regiment of the U.S. colored troops their great grandfather fought in. So, step number one is always going to be tracing your maternal and paternal line back to the late 1700s, early 1800s. But as far as step two and step three, that's going to be heavily based on what your overall end goal is for the research.
Gotcha. So what if you have like a missing link? Like say if like you don't know like one of your like closest family members is like you don't know them. So you don't really know like the history of their family. That kind of like slows down that process, I'm assuming, or like because that's one of the things when I was trying to do my ancestry before, I wanted to like find all of my family's information, but then I kind of hit a roadblock when I couldn't like, because I actually don't know my father and I don't even know anything about him, and so that kind of throws.
Do you know his
off,
name?
like, no, it's kind of funny. I don't know anything about that guy at all, not even slightly. So it's like it kind of hits like a little roadblock, like ooh, we don't really know. We only get like half the information here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I mean, that's information that could be revealed during the process of doing genealogy research. Like, I don't know if your parents were ever married, but even if they weren't, I mean, there may still be documents out there that are digitized and archived with both their names linked on it. So by all means, there's ways for you to access documentation that may still have your father listed, even if you don't know his name, even if he's not listed on your birth certificate. If push comes to shove and there's just really no information on him at all, then that's where, dare I say, a DNA test can actually be a benefit. Where people go wrong with DNA tests is they try to use it to prove heritage or ethnicity, and it's a total pseudoscience for telling you what country your ancestors came from or whether you're Native American or not. I mean, that's total BS. But what a DNA test can do is link you to blood relatives in their database. So there are situations where someone does a DNA test, and next thing you know, it links them to a bunch of cousins and stuff on their dad's side that they would have never found through paperwork because they don't even have info on the father to know who his parents are and his brothers and sisters, right? But a DNA test can link you to people within that same DNA pool, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that actually makes a lot of sense. Actually, I never really thought about that, but now, yeah.
Yeah. Most people use it the wrong way. Most people use it as a cop out. Instead of doing the hard work of paper trail research, they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna spit in a cup and pay $100, and they're gonna tell me exactly what I am." No. That's a total pseudoscience. We know that DNA can link you to the scene of a crime. We know that DNA can link you to blood relatives. It cannot tell you that you're 10% Nigerian, 20% Ghanaian, 30% Sierra Leone, and 1% Native American. I mean, come on. They're just making shit up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. That's pretty much the gist of it. Like I said, I probably was going to actually consider doing that with you anyways, because I think I want to like actually like if you do step by step like walkthroughs about how to do these things.
Yeah, literally share my screen, go through step 1, step 2, step 3. You can pause and ask me any questions. If you've already started doing research and you got some documents that you want me to help you give you an understanding of, what they're about, then we can also go over that. So yeah, it's a full-fledged, in-depth consultation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm very surprised you called me back. So I really appreciate you calling me, honestly. So yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to be considering for sure.
Yeah, most def. Well, hey, if you ever book a consultation, make sure to use the coupon code TikTok, one word, all lowercase, and that'll hook you up with a 20% discount.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
All right, you take it easy.
You too now. Bye now.
All right. And Night Sky says, dang, I have to rewind. I missed the question. I'm interested to hear about DNA tests. Yeah, he was just saying he has no records on his father. He doesn't even have the name for his father. So I was just explaining that a DNA test could be beneficial because while DNA tests cannot tell you your ethnicity or what country your ancestors came from, they can link you to blood relatives. So even if you don't have information on your father, you may have blood relatives in the DNA pool that you can link to, and next thing you know, you're finding uncles and aunties and cousins on your dad's side, which could then lead you to finding some information on that side of the family that paper trail records just wouldn't provide. But let me see. We got a 916 number next. Oh, that's where I'm from, Sacramento. Let's see if they're going to put up. Damn, I got so many callbacks to make. I got to start trying to make these calls quicker. Excuse me. I gotta start making these calls quicker. 937 area code is next. I have no idea where that's at. Somebody in the chat, let me know. Is there anybody out there hailing from the 937? All right, next up, we've got a 409 area code. Tylee says that's Ohio, Greene County. Okay. Y'all know, because I sure don't. This number ain't even ringing. Okay, we're going to just have to skip past this 409 area code. I'm not even getting a ringing noise. 702 area code is next. 702 went straight to voicemail. Or rather, went straight to nothing. 402 area code is next.
Hello?
Hey, this is Mike giving you a call back. How you doing?
You ain't giving me a call. Who you looking for?
Oh, well, I mean, I could go through my messages and look at the text message you sent me. But yeah, this is Mike TV, YouTuber, genealogist. Somebody from this number sent me a text and give me a call.
Genealogist?
Oh, Lord, this nigga too slow. He said, genealogist. Just for shits and giggles, I got to go look at the text message this person sent me. Because some folks be off they rocker. Hold on, y'all. It was a 402 area code. Let me see where the 402 text is going to be at. Lord knows I get so many calls, so many phone, so many calls, so many texts. 402. Here we go. This person literally sent me a text message and gave me a call on the 18th, 11:39 p.m. Maybe he was drunk. He was off that alcohol. It was damn near midnight. He said, calling to piggyback off of the lady who was on your show. I don't know, guys. It's my fault. So many people call me. I got so many work that I got to do. I'm a one-man band. They called on the 18th. I'm just now giving them a call back on the 26th. And I guess they just totally forgot that they called and sent me a message. Either way, we got to get to the folks that remember. Lord knows. We got to find us the diamond in the rough. Tylee's cracking up. A genealogist. Yeah. I wouldn't have your number if you didn't call me and text me. Jesus. We're actually going to switch over to this 206 number. We're not getting anything out of this 757. Who knows where 206 area code's from? I know Ty probably does. I know that guy talking about a genealogist. Now he's giving me a call back. No, buddy, sorry. You lost your chance. You got to lose yourself in the moment. You own it. You better never let it go. You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes from somebody. Come on, some people are like, oh my gosh, Mike, I can't believe you actually called me back. Yeah, I need help with genealogy. And some people are like, genealogists. All right.
Hello.
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back. How you doing?
It's too late right now, man. I'm going to bed. Give me a call in the morning, man.
You just give me a call next time you see me live. It's all good. Take it easy. Yeah, sorry. You can book a consultation through the website. We ain't giving you a call in the morning. Respectfully, I give you a call back when I can. And I know it's 8 o'clock where I'm at, and some of you guys might be on the East Coast. It might be a little late. I get it. I get it. If the stars do not align, the stars do not align. Okay. It's okay. 508 area code is up next. Tylee said that's Washington. What T06 was Washington? The last caller said, man, it's too late, man. You call me in the middle of my rest escape at my bedtime.
Huh?
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back. How you doing?
Who are you looking for?
Oh, I don't know. I just got a text and a call from this number. Someone who was watching my last show.
I'm sorry. I sent that a few days ago. That's why I was confused. My apologies.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. You know, I got a lot of work on my plate, so sometimes it's a few days till I'm able to give folks a call back.
Yeah, no problem. I actually was on one of your lives. This was like 3-4 days ago, maybe.
Nice.
And I had came across your page because, well, I found the whole page interesting because I'm older. I'm in my 40s. I don't know much. Well, I don't know much about my family's history as far as my maternal my maternal grandmother's side.
Yep.
My mother's grandmother. I know my grandmother's grandfather, my mother's father's side, but not my grandmother's side. As far as my dad's side, I don't know anything. So I guess I'm at a stage and point in my life where I want to know more about my familial history because I want to actually be able to pass that down to my children. I feel like it's important, especially for us, people of color. It's just important for us to know who we are, where we come from, and our people. So that's why I kind of reached out to figure out, I guess, some things that you might know of that might help to put me on the track of finding the information I need to know better.
Yeah, for sure. And really that's the exact thing that I help people with during those one-on-one genealogy consultations I provide through my website, nativeblackancestry.com. During that session, I actually share my screen, go through historical documents, and teach the 3-step process that me and my family used to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation back in 2021. So by all means, if you've got it within the budget, if you've got the time, a consultation is the way or the best way for you to get hands-on, in-depth assistance. But other than that, if you have any general questions that you want to ask, I'll do the best that I can do right now to point you in the right direction.
Well, the only thing I do know that my grandmother told me, and my grandmother passed away when I was like 8 years old. So I was really young when she passed on. And she's from Flomaton, Alabama. And I remember her telling me that we had Cherokee in our family. So I don't know anything about like the native tribes or anything like how they go about doing all of that. But I also know too that I'm a little bit of a history buff. So I know that with the census and also along with Jim Crow, where the free blacks or free black people that were quote unquote Native Americans, Indigenous actually, they were reclassified to Negro and they were forced to reclassify to Negro. So I guess my question for you would just be more or less, how do you go about finding out familial roots, despite things like Jim Crow and the census trying to declassify people?
Yep. The only way you can really reveal that type of information is by starting with yourself and tracing your roots in reverse. Oftentimes it's one thing to just know about paper genocide or know about racial reclassification, but through this type of research that I show people how to do, we can actually see the documents firsthand where our ancestors are being classified from Indian to mulatto, from mulatto to colored, from colored to Negro, et cetera, et cetera. Matter of fact, I don't ever advertise this, but at the end of the genealogy consultations I provide, Sometimes people are like, hey, Mike, it's great you taught me how to do it, but I'd rather hire a professional. And in that case, I do have a research package that I provide where I actually do people's genealogy research for them, since I've done this for hundreds of Black Americans now. Again, I don't advertise this. I more so want people to book a consultation so I can teach them how to do it on their own first. You know, if we get to the point where they're like, no, I want to hire someone, then we can get to that. But the only reason I bring that up is because 2 days ago, I presented genealogy findings to a client of mine. And I actually was able to show her not just 8 different ancestors who are reclassified from one census to the next, from Indian to mulatto, colored, Negro, etc. I also located an ex-Indigenous slave interview from one of her great grandparents, where they're actually speaking with a federal agent, giving them their testimony about them being an Indigenous, their mother and father being Indigenous, them being sold on the plantation, how life was like on the plantation, et cetera, et cetera. On top of that, with another one of our ancestors in the same family line, I found and presented to her the Dawes Roll application, where her great grandmother was actually applying to be a member of the Choctaw tribe. She was being interviewed by a federal agent, and she's giving oral tradition about her Indigenous roots, who she knows that's Indigenous, what tribe they are, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's one thing to research the topic of paper genocide and racial reclassification, but through doing proper in-depth genealogical research, you can actually see where your family fits into that history, and oftentimes get some, you know, striking documents that show you exactly what's going on, as far as, you know, what tribe they were affiliated with, what territories they were in before they were reclassified and or enslaved.
Right. You know, I find it wild that you mentioned how the government's involved in it. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. The fact that the government's involved in the interviewing of this stuff, like, that's wow. They know exactly what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
They know exactly what they're doing.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it was something called the Federal Writers Project, where in the early 1900s they went around to formerly enslaved people, convincing them to give an interview, and really it was propaganda, because if you read a lot of them, it was really to Africanize our heritage. A lot of them have like the same cookie cutter story, where like, my great grandma was an African on the coast, and the white man came on a boat and showed them some trinkets and doodads, and then they got on the boat and got tricked and they got brought to America. And like literally that same exact cartoonish story is repeated again and again by these formerly enslaved people. So if you know how to spot propaganda, you can tell that the whole Federal Writers Project was just to create this mythical African slave narrative. But even if you sift through bullshit like that, you can still find some gems, just like how I found one of our ancestors talking about, no, mama was an Indian, daddy was an Indian, so on and so forth.
Okay. And what is your website again?
NativeBlackAncestry.com.
Native.
Yeah, if you type NativeBlackAncestry.com, it should pop right up. There's like a red, white, and purple logo with a Black Indigenous man.
And you have a book?
Yep. Yeah, I got a couple books. I got a free book that you can get just by entering your email into the website. And then I've got a new paid ebook called Reclassified 5 Centuries of Paper Genocide.
You look Native.
Oh, well, maybe that's because I am citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation. And
I can
I
see
also have
it, like,
Choctaw
in your
heritage.
eyes, in your like in your face. Like, it's just, I could see it.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. If you actually saw a photo of my grandfather, who was a chief of the Creek Nation back in the mid to late 1800s, I actually look very similar to him. I was kind of shocked. I was like, wait a minute.
Wow. Okay, I'm on the website now. You said enter my email. Let's see.
Yeah, like if you're on the website, there'll be like a pop-up that pops up on your screen, and it'll show like that free ebook. And for that one, you just enter your email address, click send, and it'll automatically email you that free ebook. If you wanted to get like my big, full-fledged, in-depth ebook, that 5 Centuries of Paper Genocide, that's where you would just click on the menu, and up there on the menu should be a page called Reclassified New Book.
Okay. And then you were mentioning something about like excuse me, classes or something? You said you give
Yeah,
classes?
so I provide genealogy consultations. If you're still on the homepage, you can just keep scrolling down. You'll see testimonials from some of my recent clients. And then like all the way at the bottom of the homepage, you'll see an area that says book now if you're interested in a consultation. And you can like pick a day and time, access my calendar, all that good stuff.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. My schedule's about to get really busy because I'm taking classes for phlebotomy. Sorry, can't even say the word. Phlebotomy.
Mhm.
So I'm taking like a 3-month course, so it's going to be jam packed, and then I'm gonna have tests after that. So the next few months for me are probably going to be just studying to pass the. I'm going to take the nationwide licensure test, so I can get licensed, and no matter where I go, I can work pretty much.
Yeah, nice. That's what's up. Well, kudos to you. It sounds like a big
Thank you.
accomplishment. Yep.
Thank
And
you.
as far as consultations, I only do consultations on Sundays. So even if you click the book now button, it's just going to give you various times on a Sunday. So yeah, if you have some time, go for it.
Definitely. Okay. Well, thank you so
Perfect.
much for reaching out to me and for letting me know, because this is very useful information. I feel like, there's a saying that says, um, talks about the student finding the teacher when they're ready. I feel
Yep.
like that's kind of like how I came across your page. I was ready for the information, and it presented itself. I wanted to ask you a question. Do you know of another guy? Is it Dale or Dane doing something similar?
You're probably referring to Dane Calloway.
Yes, Dane. Yes.
Mhm.
Do
He
you
used
guys
to
ever
do
do
something similar. I'm not sure if he's still doing it. I haven't tuned in to his content in several years.
I'm like, have you guys ever done a crossover ever?
No crossovers or anything like that. Some of my viewers subscribe to him, and they told me that as of late he more so does like political content, like Trump and Democrats versus Republicans and stuff. But no, there are several content creators that I've done collaborations with. Dane Calloway just isn't one of them, not yet anyway.
I was just wondering because I'm like, we need, we need more voices speaking on this because the information definitely out there is false.
Oh yeah,
I think a
for
lot
sure.
of it is coming to the head now because people are starting to slowly but surely wake up because they're starting to question things now. For a long time, we just took whatever was told to us at face value, and people are starting to see kind of like the holes in the story. I think also there's something unique going on amongst. I hate using the word Black people, but I don't know any other really word to use. But I think there's something going on amongst us where it's like we're stepping away from mainstream societal norms. We're getting into therapy, healing, becoming better. You know what I mean? Getting back to a kind of like our roots as far as self-love, self-care, eating better. Not all of us, but some of us. And I think that's why it's important to know or to add knowing who you are to that too, so you can be a whole and better person overall. So I
Oh
do
yeah.
appreciate you for the information, and thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I agree with you, and if time allows, I look forward to connecting with you.
Definitely.
All right, you take it
Thank you
easy.
again. You
Bye
too.
bye. All right. Oh, and I'm excited to see if this next person picks up. I took notes on this one. This one sent me some lengthy text messages about they want to debate me, but they don't want to debate me, but they want to talk about like the purpose of my content and what I've accomplished with my channel or some weird shit. I was getting some strange text messages from this next one. Okay, so we'll see if they answer. If so, then this will be a good one. Okay, let's check it out. 808 area code. Where's 808 at? Y'all let me know.
Your call has been forwarded to an
Oh, straight to
automated voice
voicemail. It
messaging.
would. It would. Come on. I said, finally, we got someone who's ready for a debate. Hold on, y'all. I got another one. This next person sent me a text message talking about wanting to have a biblical debate with me or some shit. Hold on. We got a 571 area code now. Let's see if they pick up. 571. right, so that's a no. 862 area code, you're up next. Where's 862? Y'all help a brother out. I'm trying to know where these folks at. Where they calling in from? That's New Jersey. No, it might be a little too late for a Jersey folk. I guess I should group these by
Hello?
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back. How you doing?
Hey, good. This the brother from what I see on TikTok, was it?
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all of them.
All right, there we go. Okay, all right. So listen, bro, I have a question. So I need to know where my family's from. Do you do a search on that? Well, we from Georgia, from Tifton, Georgia, but I can only go to my great grandfather as far as I can go. And my last name is Pyron, Pyron. My last name is Wade, but my father's last name was Pyron. I
Okay,
think
for
that's
sure.
Native American.
Oh,
if
and,
I'm not
and real
mistaken.
quick, before I answer you, chat, just give me some feedback if the audio is still working okay for you guys. But yeah, to answer your question, brother, that's exactly what I help people learn during the one-on-one genealogy consultations I provide through my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com. I actually share my screen, go through historical records with you, and show you the three-step process that me and my family used to trace our heritage and get tribal citizenship with the Muskogee Creek Nation a few years ago. So yeah, by all means, if you need more personalized guidance, I would definitely suggest booking a consultation. During the consultation, I'm not going to trace your genealogy for you. I'm going to give you the steps and the information to teach you how to trace it on your own. But if after teaching you how to do that, you decide, hey, this is a little too complicated, I don't have time for this, I'd rather hire a professional, then we can come up with a custom plan at that time. But first I always want to teach a man to fish instead of just giving him a fish, if you know what I mean.
Makes sense. Okay, so now listen. My granddaughter just went to Costa Rica. She'll be gone in a week's time. She'll be back. I want her to help me. When can you send me the kit? Is there a fee for the kit? Just what the process to do my own research? Is there a fee for that?
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a kit. It's more like a live genealogy consultation with me. If you go to my website, nativeblack.ancestry.com, you can view the pricing. You can view the different options that are available. But it's pretty simple and streamlined to book a consultation. It actually pops up a calendar, and you can pick a day and time that works good for you. So, as long as you know how to navigate the internet at least a little bit, you should be okay to book a consultation. But of course, if you want her on the call with you, then that's another topic for discussion. Of course, these meetings are virtual, so it's just a matter of sending her a link, or if there's any of your family that you think would find value in being on the call with us, and you just send them the link, and we can all chop it up at the same time.
All right, cool. Okay, so you're in Oklahoma, I think.
That's where my
Utah,
family's from.
Oklahoma?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where are you now? You don't mind me asking? What state you in now?
Oh no, I'm not in Oklahoma right now. I was living in Oklahoma last year. Now I'm over in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, you're just in Northwest. Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, I've never been to Oklahoma. Just one day, hopefully, I'm gonna get to that area.
Oh yeah, it's flat and dry.
Yeah.
Not much to see.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Any Native Americans still around? There. I know it's.
Oh no,
you
it's a
don't see
lot.
where
Yeah,
I'm from.
it's a lot of Black Native Americans out in Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma was known for a bunch of famous Black Native American cities. Black Wall Street just being one of many. Yeah.
Right, Tulsa. Yeah. Right. Well, that's probably one of the most famous cities in the country in terms of us, as a race,
Most def. But yeah, just make sure to check out the website, nativeblack.ancestry.com. I've got tons of tools and resources to help you on your journey of discovery, besides booking a consultation. But I got to segue into the next call. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to shoot me an email. Also, my email is Mike@nativeblack.ancestry.com.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mike, for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling back.
Yeah, of course. You take it easy.
And we'll be in touch, okay?
Yep. Look forward to it. Peace.
All right, bro.
All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going. I'm making good time now.
The subscriber you have dialed.
Not the subscriber you have called is not in service. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You got to pay your phone bill. Don't do that. You got to pay your bill. You're going to call Mike, leave me a text, leave me a voicemail. I call you back, but you ain't paid your bill. Damn. You could have found out how to get on the road of discovering your indigenous ancestry, but you didn't pay your Boost Mobile, T-Mobile prepaid, whatever it is. 678 area code is next.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
678, that's Joe, Jane, it? Atlanta. 614 area code is next. Oh, and you know what? I'm sorry. Let me stop doing these callbacks real quick. I forgot. Earlier, we had somebody who actually called in live. Let me see if I can find their number. Damn, I might have lost the number. Oh, we got 78 giving me a call back now. Let's see. Hey, this is Mike. Let me know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind. All right, nothing's on your mind. Yeah, before we get to this next call, I had somebody calling in earlier. Damn, it was like damn near 30 minutes ago. I think it was this 214 area code. Damn, we've had people giving me callbacks to my callbacks. No, this one was fresh. This 214 area code was a fresh one. Let me give them a call.
Peace, good brother. Peace, good brother. How you doing?
Doing well. I can't complain. Let me know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Well, I'm a Teflon calling from Dallas, Texas.
Oh, you were breaking up a little bit. One more time.
Duwama Teflon calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hold on. I'm gonna try to do your name a service and learn how to pronounce it. First half first. First half. How do you pronounce it?
First name is Duwamatef.
Duwamatef?
Yes.
Okay, Duwamatef. And the second half?
Atun.
Tune or Atun?
Atun. A-T-U-N.
Duwamatef Atun. Well, hold on. I got it. Duwamatef Atun.
Duwamatef in Atun.
Oh, Duwamatef in Atun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it. And is that Hebrew or Islamic or?
No, that's Nuwapic.
Nuwapin. Is that the Dr. York thing?
Yeah. You know, I'm a Nuwapian.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was a caller earlier that said that they were a student of Dr. York, but they hung up before I got the chance to ask them like what Dr. York teaches or like what his school of thought was. But since we got another,
he taught a lot of things. To be honest, he taught a lot of things. I'm 47 years old. And when I first started, studying his teachings and stuff, I was like 17. So, I've been studying that long, and he went through a lot of different schools, but he informed us about, the Yamasee, the Seminole, the Washita, the Shoshone, the Kiowa, different tribes, yeah, he did teach things about Egypt and Africa and other parts of the world as well, but he spoke of his lineage, being a descendant of Ben York. And, Ben York had quite a few kids, like Washakie, who was the chief of the Eastern Shoshone. And just a whole lot of stuff, So it kind of encourages one to look into their own history. Now, me particularly, I come from a kind of large family, and we was kind of close knit. Like, you know, my family, they've owned their own family business for over 57 years, you know, and like, so I was working with my grandparents. My grandparents kind of raised me, you know, so we would do like family reunions and stuff like that, and always go back to Louisiana. And you know, I met my great grands and great grands, and you know, we knew each other. I knew my family, you know what I mean? And I would particularly ask a lot of questions. You know what I mean? I would ask them, who's such and such mother? Who's such and such mother? Who, you know, go back as far as I can go, you know? And I would just always kind of run into roadblocks, you know what I mean? Now, as far as the surnames, you know, that my family have, you know, like Askew, you know, I've looked that up, and I've seen some Choctaw Askews. I think like a Aaron Askew, just off of Google itself, said Aaron Askew was like, I think, on the roll of the Choctaw, you know. But again, you know, it's a learning experience. I'm not saying I know everything, you know, but you know, I'm just doing my best on this journey, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you. And it sounds like you're saying that this Dr. York figure taught various different school of thoughts during various points of his teaching. Maybe he kind of merged different schools of thoughts together, like the Moorish sovereign stuff with the Hebrew Israelite, with the Native American.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? We're not part of the more sovereign stuff. Now,
the Wikipedia page says you are.
Nah, I mean,
someone's got to update that Wikipedia page.
I'll give you an example. For instance.
Oh, you just broke up. Are you there? Damn, he said, I'm going to give you an example, for instance, and then it just, line went dead. He's still on the line, though. The call's still going on. If you can hear me, we can't hear you anymore. All right. Yeah. I mean, those calls still going. I guess I'm just going to have to hang up. I mean, normally I have more patience than that, but we got a lot of people to call back, y'all. A lot of people to call back. That's crazy. The first dude say he was a student of Dr. York, then the line mysteriously ends. This dude says he's a follower of Dr. York. He was going to go into something. It was right on the tip of his tongue, and then just silence. I mean, all right. I don't know. If it happens more than once, it's a pattern, right? Is it a theme? Is it safe to say that we see a theme going on with followers of Dr. York? And I feel like this Dr. York is as much of a doctor as Dr. Umar Johnson, but hey, I'll try not to be petty.
Hello.
Hey, this is Mike TV giving you a call back. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Oh, staying busy. I can't complain. Lay it on us. What's on your mind? I know it was a few days when you originally called in.
Yeah, I was trying to call you because I wanted to talk to you about some things that I've discovered about my family.
Okay.
To start off, my name is Cliff. I'm from Ohio. My family's originally by way of Alabama. I have personally done some genealogy research, and I've discovered my family's trail from the state of Alabama to our present location in the state of Ohio.
Okay, nice.
I found, starting with hold on just a second. Are you there?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So
All right, go
what I
for
was saying is, I found my great grandmother back in the 18, I believe it was 18, she was born in 1860. I found her in the census in the 18, I think it was the 1870 census,
Okay.
where you can clearly tell that the census enumerator originally listed her with an I. But
I for Indian, right?
But the census records I found, that I was turned into a B.
Yeah, I've seen that time and time again.
And I've also found that there's a story in my family that my great-great-grandfather, my great-grandmother's father, he was killed by a white man while he was sitting on a tractor on his own land. And I'm trying to figure out, before the Civil War ended, how did melanated individuals have land? Because weren't we all supposed to be slaves?
Oh yeah, no, that's a huge misconception. Yeah, a lot of my genealogy clients are surprised to find that their ancestors are listed as free persons of color before slavery, during slavery, owning acres and acres of land. Yeah.
Now, with that being said, since I know that my family, and actually on both sides, on my mother's side of my family and my father's side of my family, they both started in Alabama.
That's my ancestral homeland. That's where all the Creek Indians were: Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
And see, that's the other thing, because the story of my family is that, and you clearly, if I showed you a picture, you could clearly tell that my great-grandmother did not look like me. I look like what you would call a typical Black man.
Yeah, well, hey, what you would call a typical Black man, I would say resembles a typical Southeastern Indigenous person, but I feel you.
Yeah, I believe me, I identify because I know that my family did not come here on a boat in chains.
Yep.
There's no way that my family had land in their name and also was a slave at the same time. That's conceptually impossible.
Absolutely. But then the question becomes, what do we think is more likely? Do we think that it's more likely that they were a slave trafficked from Africa and somehow won the lottery and got manumission from their slave owner and then somehow accumulated so much wealth to buy all this property while avoiding enslavement in this territory that has active enslavement? Or do we think it's more likely that they descend from indigenous groups who've been in that area since the beginning of time? And maybe they converted to Christianity, or maybe they converted to Catholicism. Maybe they had a deal with the French. That way they remained free and autonomous, and they just gave a certain share of their crop to the colonial authorities. Or maybe they were free and in allyship with the Spanish while that whole territory was Spanish La Florida. Because most people don't know that the state of Florida we now see today is not how it was in the 1500s and the 1600s. Florida went all the way from Florida to Georgia, Alabama, all the way to New Orleans, damn near. And that territory changed hands from the French to the Spanish to the British. And throughout all those times, there's free Black indigenous people who are not surviving, but thriving. So, yeah, got to do the research.
Definitely. And see, what I did was I live in Columbus. And here in Columbus, Ohio, the public library has a genealogy department that they allow you access to for free. That's how I ended up finding my family's history. I allowed them to go find it for me.
And how'd that turn out for you?
It turned out rather well. You know, that's how, like I said, that's how I followed my family's history from Alabama to where my great grandmother was born in Tennessee after her grandfather was killed. My grandmother moved with her children to Tennessee. And from Tennessee, they ended up here in Ohio.
Okay.
Now,
And was that genealogist able to just tell you the migration patterns of your ancestor, or were they also able to give you historical context into why your family owns all this land, what was going on at different points in history, what tribes were in that area who remained free but still got reclassified as Negro, mulatto, colored, etc.? Or was it mostly, just tracking the pattern of the migration and what counties and territories they're in?
What they gave me was more of the tracking the movements and the patterns. It had nothing to do with where my family actually came from, because they tried to convince me that my family was a slave, but you can't tell me we were slaves when my family.
Oh, wait, time out. Now we're getting somewhere. You say you went to the local public library. They've got a free genealogy service. You use the service. I ask you how the results are. You're like, it was great. I found out my ancestors were here. My ancestors were there. I say, well, did they just help with the migration, or did they give you historical context, let you know the history of that territory, what was going on? And you now say that not only did they just give you kind of surface level migration patterns, but they also tried to insert an artificial heritage of enslavement.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that's simply based off of your phenotype. That's simply based off of your ancestors throughout the census records being classified as mulatto, colored, Negro, black, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why 2 years ago, I became a full-time genealogist and started my own genealogy company, NativeBlackAncestry.com, because I speak with so many people who've went through these other genealogists just like you did. And sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes they ask the genealogist, hey, so did you find any Native American ancestors? And they laugh in their face and say, what are you talking about? All black people come from Africa. So, it's one thing to have a genealogist who can source records and show you, hey, your ancestors were in Tennessee, and then they were in Florida, and then they were in Virginia, and here's the documents. But it's another thing to have somebody who has that expert knowledge on pre-colonial history, indigenous history, and paper genocide / racial reclassification, so that we can really fully fill in all the blanks. But yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe they tried. And it's nuts, because so many of my clients, the ones that hire me to do the research for them, I'll show them where their ancestors listed as a free person of color. I'll show them the acreage they own. I'll show them, and then sometimes I do have a client who does have an ancestor who's enslaved. And guess what? I can find the name of the slave owner, the plantation they were on, the shipping manifest, the name of the boat, where the boat was leaving, where the boat was going. And you mean to tell me that genealogist didn't have a slave schedule for you, didn't have your ancestor being traded in some plantation owner's will to a descendant, didn't have a shipping manifest? They just hey, well, they're in this area, so we think they were a slave.
Yeah, exactly. The information they gave me, what they told me is that they gave me an approximate date according to census records.
An approximate date that they were born or enslaved, or
approximate date that they were born. Speaking of my great grandmother.
Okay,
they gave me an
so they gave you an approximation.
According
But how did they present the slavery? Like, I'm not sure how long it was ago. I'm not sure if you can remember verbatim, but like, how did they come to you, Henry Louis Gates Jr. style, and be like, oh, you thought grandma was an Indian, really she was a slave?
Exactly. What they came out, long story short, they came out and told me that, my family, or my great grandmother, she was born in Alabama, approximate age according to the census record, which is when she was listed on the census. I understand that part, but
Yep.
What they were trying to explain to me just didn't make sense according to me, because of the oral traditions of my family, telling me. I had the pleasure of growing up with my great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that my great grandmother and my grandmother all kept gardens with the three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my great grandmother, when she died, don't know where it is at the current moment, but when she died, there was a test, or what my grandmother called a shifro, old word. She called it shifro. That shifro was full when she passed. That shifro was full of Native American garb that apparently she just stopped wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know where it is currently at the moment. And I also, once I got the information from the genealogist.
Uh-oh. The call disconnected. We having some technical difficulties. Maybe they'll give me a call back. Yeah, this was definitely becoming a very interesting call indeed. And yeah, guys, I mean, on surface level, it may seem like I'm biased because I'm a genealogist myself, but it's like, damn, like you don't got to go through me. Just find you some genealogist to help you. Mainstream gene have you thinking your ancestors were free. All right, we're back. How's it going?
I'm sorry about that, Mike.
Oh, it's all right.
No, what I was saying is the genealogist gave me the original name of my family, according to the name that my great grandmother and her father had. His last name was Honey, or pronounced Honey.
Okay.
And I just started doing research to see if I could find that name on any tribal roll.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Now,
But yeah, genealogy research is a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you do need more personalized guidance, definitely make sure to check out the website. I'm here to help. But I got quite a few people on this callback list, and I got to wrap up this broadcast here shortly. But if you have a couple questions or anything that you want to close out with, then I'll do the best that I can to point you in the right direction.
okay, definitely. The one question I have is, where would I go to start the search for my family's name? And because they were in Alabama, I have to look to find the location, the actual place they say in Alabama that my great grandmother was born. But according to that location in Alabama, I'm not sure whether it was Creek, or I'm not sure what tribe it is.
Have you checked out the tribal surname tab on my website?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I kind of have issues. So me personally, I have permanent spinal cord damage, so I can't feel or do much of anything in my hand. So
I feel you for sure. Well, if you have a friend or a family member that can help you navigate to my website, I actually have a tribal surname tab where you can see if your family's surname is amongst one of the common surnames of one of the 5 civilized tribes, which the Creek are one of them. Most of these tribes were in the Southeast, the territory that your ancestors hail from. So I really built out that page on the website so that you can literally look up your last name and see which tribe it matches under. Of course, that list is not an end-all be-all. It just covers 5 tribes, and there were thousands of tribes, but it's a really good, first step as far as specifically researching your surname. Other than that, I mean, if it was the 90s or something, I'd say, hey, go down to the local library or the archive or da-da-da. But nowadays, there's so much information that can be sourced online with a lot of digitized archives. So, first step, I would definitely say check out the tribal surname tab. Other than that, if you haven't started trying to build out a digitized family tree, that's going to be a good, safe bet to reveal a lot of information beyond the surnames.
okay, so I'll start with the cerebral tribe names, because, like I say, I tried looking it up and I have not come across the name Honey or Honey on any of the tribal roles on your website.
Oh, so you have been on the website?
Yes, I have. I just have not come across that name.
Oh, okay. Yes. So earlier when I asked you, it sounded like you said no. If you haven't come across that name, again, that's doesn't really mean much. I mean, that site doesn't cover every single last name. And again, it's only covering 5 tribes, whereas there were many different tribes and many different factions. So, call me a little biased, but this is the exact stuff that I help people unearth during those one-on-one genealogy consultations. I can actually pull a report with you live and show you the migration patterns of that surname, whether it does have European origins and it was brought over through colonialism and placed on indigenous populations, or whether the surname has indigenous origins to begin with. But yeah, by all means, for folks who need more personalized, in-depth guidance, that's where the consultations come into play. Now, if you do have anyone who could help you out with the consultation or anything, and that was something that you were serious about taking advantage of, just make sure that they use the coupon code TikTok. That's one word, all lowercase, and that's going to hook you up with a 20% discount.
Great. Yeah, I'll have to find, because, I'm of that age that I don't really do TikTok. That's more the young people thing, but I have to get one of my kids to help me.
Yeah, for sure. You don't actually have to go to TikTok. It's just when you're on the website booking a consultation, there's going to be a little area where you can enter a coupon code, and the coupon code is the word TikTok.
Okay. Coupon word is the word TikTok. Okay.
Yep. One word, all lowercase, and that'll hook you up with a 20% discount on your genealogy consultation.
Now, I have one more question, Mike.
Yeah, go. We're just going to make it a little quick.
Since I know that my great grandmother's father had land.
Yep.
Since it's a documented fact that he had land and he was murdered by some Caucasian man while he was on his land.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be hard to find that land deed patch, correct?
I mean, we really don't know till we start doing the searching. Sometimes it's very easy to find it. Sometimes it's very arduous. So it's really going to depend, especially in the Southeast, depending on if this was pre-Civil War, post-Civil War. When the Union came to town, they were burning a lot of archives, burning a lot of county clerk records, and really masking the identity and the true land ownership that was going on in the South prior to the Civil War. So, it could be easy. It could take a while, but we really don't know until we start doing the research.
Okay. And one more question. Now, when the Indian Removal Act started taking place, not all, am I correct in assuming not all natives actually went west to Oklahoma? Some of them just stayed in place?
Exactly. Many stayed in place. Many, many, many. Yeah.
That's the assumption I'm going off of. Is it?
Yeah, it's really three different demographics. There's the Black indigenous people who walked the Trail of Tears, relocated west of the Mississippi. There's the Black indigenous people that stayed in their ancestral homeland and remained free. And then there were the Black indigenous people who were taken as prisoners of war, enslaved on their own land, and racially reclassified. Yep. But hey, it was a pleasure connecting with you. Again, if you want to check out that consultation, just make sure to plug in that coupon code so you save a little bit on it. But yeah, I gotta segue to the next caller real quick.
All right, I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you have a great evening. Nice chatting with you.
You too.
All right, y'all. I gotta hurry up. I got still like 10, 11 more calls I want to make. I gotta speed this up. Let me see. 980 area code. We got you coming up next.
Yo.
Hey, this is Mike giving you a call back. How you doing?
Mike from.
I mean, you called my number, left me a message, watch me on YouTube, apparently. I mean, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. The number says Oklahoma. Yeah, peace. What's going on, fam? My fault. You caught me off guard with that one.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just making my round of callbacks. So yeah, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Oh, yes. I don't know what today's topic is about, so I don't really know. But my name is Audio. I'm calling from North Carolina, originally from Philly. Yeah. What's today's topic about, bro?
It's not really a specific topic. I'm just making my round of callbacks. Some people want to debate. Some people want to ask questions about genealogy. Some people want to ask me if I can help them with genealogy. So really, it's just predicated on what's on your mind.
Oh
Or
yeah, I definitely.
or a good way to start is if you remember what you were initially calling in about a few days ago, then we can start there.
Yeah, I was gonna jump into that, but I definitely want to say before all that, I'm definitely going to be contacting you about the genealogy thing. Definitely, even though I already know, but it seems like you can go more in depth, so that's a good thing. But the other day, so um, you was having a conversation about it was some weird people calling in and all that. You know what I'm saying? They were saying some weird things. For real, it was a whole situation. There was a sister on there. She was dropping jewels, and they was hating the comments, but you
Do
don't
you
cash
remember
your.
what kind of jewels she was dropping?
It was about the different tribes of Indians. Well, excuse me, natives, indigenous people. Um, I can't really. I don't want to just, you know what I mean. But neither here or there. The point with me cringing at a certain point. You made a phrase I never heard before. Would you say Black Native American?
No, I use the term Native Black American, just like my
Native Black
website,
American.
nativeblackancestry.com. Yep.
Right, right, right. So, um, that's the thing I have a problem with everyone that has consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's like limited. You know what I mean? It's like a pick and choose thing. Now, as deep as you are aware of your bloodline and your heritage and your roots, then you should be well diverse in words and how they were given for
Oh yeah, of
positions.
course. Yeah.
Right. So
hmm
just throwing out there the word black, man. I mean, I made an acronym for the word black is being led astray, consciously kills. Because that's the word they give us.
That's a good one.
To,
Yeah. Well, hold on.
yeah,
Being led astray consciously kills. Yeah. Yeah. No.
yeah,
Very
yeah, it
accurate.
does.
Yeah.
It does. So, with that being said, and you even agreeing with that, that proves my point. Knowing that is that, it means that. And then the American thing, bro. I mean, yeah, we born here, but it wasn't America. I'm pretty sure you know about America Vespucci, like the European explorer that's really named after the Americas because it was Turtle Island before all that.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm very, very well informed on everything you're talking about. Exactly.
so why? And I understand you have to dumb it down, but you really don't. But you black, we say Native Black American. It's like a like you like a tearjerker. You know what I mean? Like the Native is cool. Native Indigenous is probably more sane than the saying Black American because we're not black. You're not black at all. Okay, I'm darker than you, and I'm
My
not
birth
black.
certificate says black.
Yeah, because that was forced upon. But I mean, that's smart. I haven't went to college, but I'm pretty sharp with colors, and you don't even look like the color black of a crayon. You're not even close to it.
I don't think any quote unquote Black American is the actual color black. We're all various shades of earthy copper brown. Yeah.
Correct. Carbon is the correct term. Some is melanated, highly melanated. Some are lower melanated. That's another topic too, because I don't want to go too deep with that as well. But that's
Well, you can go as deep as you want to go. Go ahead.
All right, so we go in there, and so all right, so it was of course I think it was you was saying like everybody black is not from Africa. That is so fucking true. Excuse my language, but that's so true because you can spot an African a mile away. I mean, you can look at it. He's African. Now we can do that. Oh, he look like he got African in him, but that makes no sense. You can look at an African and tell that's an African. It's like an African can say, hey, that's a person right there. Like that's from America. But we always had that thing with like you got Indian in your blood. Like that was a reason for that. And I don't like the word Indian neither. I like the word Native, like you said. And then based off of how we look, indigenous. You know what I'm saying? We from here. This is our land. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like the terms. There's so much the terms. You know what I mean? I ain't want to go back to it, but there's so much the terms of the black and the America. And that's for the dumber people. Excuse my, you know what I mean? 'Cause I hate that too. That's another thing you was doing that I really didn't like because this platform is for you to lift up people. You know what I'm saying? Not even lift up people. That's stupid as shit. Not even lift them up. It ain't about that. It's to educate people, right? But if they're not going to get it, just cut them off. I get it. It's shits and giggles. It's bait, clip bait. You can get paid for it. I get it.
That's how you get your marathon on. But at some point, that's what they looking for. They looking for somebody that's going to also step on some toes for them. You know what I mean? And even if it's not indirect, that still comes off as, you know what I mean? Like, all right, you don't got to beat them down. Because the people, like I said, people say some dumbass shit. Like, there was one dude, I'm going to try to remember, he was so confident with it. Like, he was calling you an idiot. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't make no sense at all. But he was confident in what he was saying. And you went right in there and you just smacked him all up. I'm like, damn, bro. And then you start stomping them. And he said, oh, folks, you want to keep zeros or ones? And you brought him back in there, you start kicking him again. I said, God damn, bro. Leave him alone. Let him loose. You heard me? Like, let him loose. But you was tearing him up. So that was my only thing. And that's what I text you, actually. Like, a beatdown is a beatdown. Overkill is overkill. You know, stupid is, stupid does. They say some stupid shit. You check them, correct them, redirect them. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I was going off, because the platform you got is too pure to water that shit down with that, because that's what they doing out here in the world. You understand? Like, you're not of the world no more, because you're educating. The world's not educating us at all. So the fact that you're not of the world anymore, you have a responsibility and a duty to uphold a certain standard, man. Like, because of who you are. You're not black. You're not American. You are native. So that means anybody that's going to go against that, of course, you check them, redirect them, and correct them, like I said. But for those that want to get down, you doing the right thing for that. You're doing the right thing. It was just the word black and American is what I had issue with. And I would just cringe because I'm like, this brother's smart. And I know he's doing it for the dumb. But damn, from a distance, I can't tell who the dummy is. You heard me? I'm over the phone. I know you. I can tell. I go off energy, so I know what type of time you on. But to the average person, if you know black is not black and continue to keep saying it, I mean, that just only shows how far you willing to go to get intellectual. Because there's a difference between being intelligent and being intellectual. You know? So, but I definitely respect all that you're doing. Like I said, I'm going to be hitting you back up for the deep joint. Like, I'm already familiar with my bloodline. Like, I'm from Philly, but I got Cherokee in my blood. I got Blackfoot and Geechee. South Carolina people was like, I got land in Blacksville. I want to holler at you about that too. Heard you mention about, but it ain't gonna be no goofy shit though. You was talking about having everybody come and no. I'm talking about some foreign, something else different. That's something to holler at you on another joint. But, and matter of fact, when you get a chance, you know I'm for real. Google Blackville, South Carolina, and I bet you the first thing pop up is be my family's land. Audio Adufo. And I sound like my name attribute look like I'm a Moorish person. I'm definitely not a Moorish person. The Moors is the goofiest people ever. We got that in agreeance too. You said the Moorish people was definitely the ones that, because why they teach them how to wash up and all that, teaching them mathematics and that. Why I teach the enemy the mathematics? That's because you part of the enemy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was going deep too. Like the real African is.
All right. Let's pause for a moment. I mean, you're saying so much. You have to give me the opportunity to respond.
Oh yeah, right? For sure. I apologize. My bad.
I appreciate it. Lord knows I've been taking notes. I mean, you said several things. I'm just like, come on. So it sounds like you're saying you have a problem with the term black and the term American. You cringe or tears jerk or something when I use that term. It doesn't sit right with you when I say Native Black American. Instead, you favor terms like Native and Indigenous. I mean, respectfully, that's neither here nor there. I mean, what your personal feelings are towards what words I use or how you feel I should use different words. I mean, if you feel so strongly, with all due respect, I urge you to start a platform and build it up and provide thousands of hours of content educating people the way you want them to be educated. But, you know, it's kind of hypocritical and a little paradoxical for you to have an issue with my use of the term American or the term Black, but you co-sign the term Native, which is again a term granted by a colonizer. Native literally just means born here. Don't interrupt me. I did not interrupt you. If you do it again, we're just gonna have to cut the call short, respectfully. But Native literally just means born here. An African can have a baby here, and now their African child is a Native American, so to speak, if we're really trying to get into the etymology and the understand. And same thing can be said with the term Indigenous. None of my ancestors called themselves Indigenous. They went by their local tribe or their local clan. So again, you're kind of taking issue with one set of European imposed colonial words, but then you like and co-sign this other set of European imposed colonial words. And at the end of the day, my mission is to wake up those who've been reclassified as Black. So obviously I'm going to use the most recent term they've been classified as to describe them. I mean, that only makes sense. I would use the term Pink American if census officials and the government worked throughout centuries to reclassify us as pink, but they didn't do that. They reclassified us as Black, which is why I'm going to use that term and then work backwards to educate my audience and my community. I mean, it's very obvious what I'm doing, and it's not because people are so dumb. It's because a lot of people are not even uneducated, but miseducated through 12 years of colonial programming we call K through 12. So, at the end of the day, I mean, it's my platform. I'll use whatever words I want to use. And I know you use the phrase, I have to uphold a standard. That's false. The only standard I have to uphold is the standard that I set for me and my work that I do. But yeah, I get comments from folks like you time and time again that are really, hell bent on the etymology and don't use this word and don't use that word and we can't use the word Black and da 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 da. I mean, at the end of the day, we've been reclassified as it. Your birth certificate says it. Every Black American knows what we're talking about when we say Black American. We're not saying we're literally the color of my t-shirt, which is black. So, I'd rather focus on helping folks who need assistance with genealogy rather than just, debating which word to use and which word not to use. And only because I've been doing this successfully for over 2 years, and because I've helped thousands of quote unquote Black Americans find their Indigenous ancestry, I can tell you what I'm doing is very successful and it's working, and it wouldn't be working so well if I was using terms like autochthon, aboriginal, antediluvian, Indians of Turtle Island. That would go over so many people's heads. That would be a disservice to my community to use these aloof, fringe terms that only a small niche people understand. I mean,
so let's go goofy and say Black American. I got it. I got you. Let's go goofy and say Native Black American.
That's no goofier than what were the terms you like? Native Indigenous?
I mean nothing.
You literally said you prefer the term Native Indigenous, right?
That's the leaser of the end of the worst.
No, wait, hold on. Let's make sure that I heard you correctly. You said you don't like the term Black and you don't like the term American, but you like the term Native and you like the term Indigenous.
So I didn't say I like the term. I said I'd rather have I said Native is okay. Like, meaning that's the leaser of the enemy.
How is Native okay? There was white folks that started a know-nothing Native American party, and they ran around talking about their Native Americans. There's a bunch of white folks cosplaying Indigenous history to this day, claiming they're Native Americans. But you're okay with the term Native, but you take an issue with the term American? I mean, it's literally the current name of the country you're a resident of. I mean, come on.
If you never would have said the word Native, I never would have even corresponded about Native. Like, I'm just going off what you said.
Okay. Well, I wasn't. Real quick. I got so many calls to get to. Respectfully, some people like cherry pie. Some people like apple pie. I'm not, here to debate people's preferences. Oh, there he hung up finally. Yeah. I mean, if you don't like certain terms, that's cool. Keep it pushing. You don't have to watch the content. You don't have to soak up the free game. I mean, all right, guys, he doesn't want me to say Native Black American, which is easily a catch-all term to educate all of those that are uninitiated with this topic. Instead, he wants us to use Native Indigenous. All right. Okay. Hey, start a website, start providing genealogy consultations to our community. garner 70,000 subscribers across social media and do your thing, Playboy. But don't critique me on how I do mine. When what I'm doing is working well and what you're doing is speculative, if you are doing anything at all. Good Lord. We just had a 916 number call me. Hold on. I want to get to Ready to Learn. Ready to Learn. Put in the chat your area code so I can give you a call back. I'll make you the last call of the day. I'll make you the last call of the day. Yeah, guys, we always go down a pseudo rabbit hole with this shit. I get people that leave these comments from time to time. We're not Native Americans. We're Aboriginal, Autochthon, Hebrew Israelites of Turtle Island. Okay, cool. Go make content describing yourself as that. See how that works. Okay, so that 916 number is yours. Okay, I'm going to give you a call back in just a second. Let me read through the chat. Let me see what you guys are talking about. OG Night Owl says, I understand Sun perspective, but I understand yours as well. But black means the origin of all things. Yeah, I feel you. Teach their own. We Are Awakening says Native in a Native American thing in the US. Yeah, I don't really understand what you mean by that, but I feel it. I feel it. At the end of the day, I'm much more happy with the government recognizing me as a Native American than an African American. So if we really want to get into etymology, come on, y'all running around and your paperwork say African American, but you're going to try to get at me for using a term Native American? Oh, all right. Hey. I could really just use the term based on my tribe, which is Muskogee Creek and Choctaw, but why would I run around saying Muskogee Creek and Choctaw when not all of you guys are Muskogee Creek and Choctaw? You might be Wampanoag, Narragansett, Nantucket, Calusa, Wale, Cherokee, Seminole, Powhatan. The list goes on and on. So yeah, I'll keep using the term Native Black American because what I do is not dumb it down for dumb people. I meet people where they're at in their journey of discovery. But Ready to Learn, if you're that 916 number, I'm going to give you a call right now, and we'll make you the last call of the evening.
Hello.
Hey, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm in Cali, by way of Mississippi, Louisiana.
Nice. Yeah, you over there in my hometown, huh? 916?
Yeah. I was calling you. The original call was someone I think was debating you about something, and they brought up like the African slave thing. And I just happened to be looking through archives at the time, and I had came across records of the slave manifest. And this particular one was for Georgia and South Carolina. And it's like a declaration. And so I'll just, like, what it has on it is like the name of the ship, name of the boat, type of boat, the mariner or the captains of the boat, and then whether or not they are the shipper or owner of the slave that's being transported. But in this particular one, it says, I'm just going to skip to the declaration. So it's saying the shipper or owner of the within specified slave do solemnly swear to the best of their knowledge and belief that the slaves herein described were not imported nor brought into the United States from and after the first day of January 1808, and that under the laws of this state, they are held to service and labor. And then it has like the sworn signature date, stuff like that. And so one of the things on there, like this particular document is for 1833. I have a copy of one for 1822, one for 1840 something. And so I remember you talking about where the slave ships were coming from. And so it's like, if in 1808, they were no longer allowed to import slaves, where were the slaves coming from in the United States that they say are all African? Like, what's the dates that all, like most of the African slaves supposedly came, if after 1808, no one was supposed to be being imported from the United States. They had to already be there. Yeah, so I was just, I didn't know if you had seen those particular documents where they were saying there was a law that was passed in 1808 versus the narrative of 1865, as far as how slaves are brought into the U.S. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. In
Yeah,
case you
no,
didn't know.
that's a great point you brought up. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that law, and I'm very familiar with slave shipping manifests. I source those all the time for genealogy clients of mine, and it's funny because I don't think out of all the dozens and dozens of slave shipping manifests I found for clients, I don't think I've seen a single one that says shipped from Africa to North America. I mean, it's always Charleston, South Carolina to Georgia, or Georgia to Florida, and of course, when you raise the very valid question that you did, hey, if Africans aren't being imported here after 1808, then how do we have this huge growth in black slave population? Well, the goofy Pan-Africans who don't do real history, they'll try to, throw the wool over your eyes and say, oh, those are just natural births. The slaves are just having a bunch of babies, a bazillion babies, and that's why there's so many more slaves now. But they don't take into account that the average life expectancy for a plantation slave was 25 to 35 years old at that time. They have a very high mortality rate, a low birth rate, they're malnutrition, they're worked hard. So it's just not statistically possible for them to ship African slaves here before 1808. And then they just make so many babies naturally to make up for all these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of black slaves that we find in the Southeast. I mean, clearly, when you do the history, these are melanated indigenous people that are being reclassified and occupied. I mean, even when we hear the adage of 400 years of slavery, that's bullshit. I mean, if your ancestors are from Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, 400 years of slavery, how? The white folks couldn't even go into the Southeast until they had the American Revolution and broke away from the British, because the British prohibited any of their colonists from stepping foot outside of the 13 colonies. The colonists were revolting. The colonists wanted to get out of these tiny little 13 colonies and seize the neighboring Indians' land that was so fertile and so lush, and the British crown prohibited them from doing that. It's not until after the American Revolution, beginning in the 1830s, that we start to see Indian removal. And if Indian removal, Trail of Tears, is the 1830s, and we know not all of them walked the Trail of Tears, we know huge demographics of them were enslaved in place as prisoners of war, forced to work their own land that's now been converted into plantations. Well, if that begins around the 1830s, Civil War, into the Civil War is 1865. That's 30 or so years. So, we really got to do the genealogical research, because oftentimes, if we even do have an ancestor who's enslaved at all, they're enslaved for a generation and a half, maybe two, if that. Of course, they could be enslaved longer if they were previously a slave on the East Coast in Virginia or something, and then they go from being enslaved in Virginia down to continuing to be a slave in Louisiana, right? But most of the history that we've been taught is total propaganda, and it doesn't hold up to critical thought. That's why they pumped out so much media and so much propaganda, to the point where the average Black American doesn't even ask these questions. Remember, mama let you stay up on a school night to watch Roots. That's where we come from. Remember, we all sat around and watched The Color Purple. That's the real history of our people. I mean, they do so much with the propaganda to where we don't even get to the point of questioning these things. But as soon as we question them, yeah, the math ain't mathing. Not at all.
And one thing that really stood out for me, because we know the reclassification, I know at some point, I had read a document a while ago, as far as when it became illegal to enslave the indigenous population. And so I'm looking at like the other part of the manifest where it has like the actual slave's name and then sex and stuff like that. And then it has class. So I've seen class labeled as Black. I've seen it labeled as Negro.
I've seen mulattress, dark mulattress, griffin, octoroon,
light black.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And so one of the things that popped in my head was, I know you've seen a lot of census records, and there's census records where you'll see there be this population of Indian, and then the number of Indian will go to zero, but all of a sudden there's this large Black population.
Yep. Or we'll even see someone where their ancestor is listed on a census record as I for Indian, then 20 years later, that census says they're C for colored, and then 20 years later, they're B for black. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, the ones that I'm talking about is, you know how on some of the census records, you'll see like the number of the population?
Yeah.
It'll
I know
say
exactly what
this
you're talking
many.
about. Yep.
Yeah, so you'll see like in a particular year, there's however many Indians, and then all of a sudden there's like 100 Indians,
And then all the Indians
there's a huge
disappear,
number
and
of
all these
Blacks.
black people show up all of a
Yeah,
sudden. Yeah.
and so one of the things I was thinking about, because I haven't done the comparison of these, but when these different Indian wars were happening, because a lot of them were happening in the 1800s, like, is this the period where?
Well, hold on. Respectfully, it's not that a lot of these Indians wars have been happening since the 1800s. A lot of these
were happening in the 1800s.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying
It's not that a lot of them
during
were
the-
happening in the 1800s. A lot of them were happening continuously all throughout colonization. I did a broadcast the other day
No, I
where
know that part.
literally, brought up
I'm
a
just
timeline
talking-
where from the 1500s to the 1600s to the 1700s to the 1800s, there's continuous rebellion and Indian wars and skirmishes. Yeah.
Right. So, but during those times, the Indians were still Indians. So we know that at some point there was a switch where, again, the Indigenous were no longer allowed to be supposedly enslaved. And so we know the way they work. They will trick and they will change laws. So they reclassified them, right, to Black.
Well, see,
so now
while that's true, though, it's not that they were still Indians. They were still known as Indians. When I talk about them fighting wars and skirmishes in the 1500s, the 1600s, the 1700s, they're not always being recognized as Indians by colonial authorities. Oftentimes, they're being recognized as Negroes. Matter of fact, Virginia.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the comparison with those.
Yeah, I know. Virginia, as early as 1682, passed 2 acts that started to lump Africans and Native Americans into one category as Negro. So, I know that you're familiar with this information, but we're live. We've got 80 plus people watching. Thousands are going to be watching the replay. So I want to make sure everybody has historical context and they don't misunderstand things and think, oh, these Indian wars start in the 1800s and this racial reclassification starts in the 1700s, 1800s. It started much, much earlier than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but you have the floor. Go for it.
Okay. So what I was just saying was, specifically with these, because it's dealing with 1808, I know when I've looked at a lot of census records, I've seen a lot of things change in certain areas. I'll say that.
Yeah.
In certain areas, you'll see the population magically change the next census to where like you said, the Indians disappear and then a bunch of Blacks pop up.
Yep.
So as you mentioned, with the different things that were put in place, we know that everybody wasn't everywhere yet. So there were certain areas where the identity was being changed to Negro, like officially in that particular area. So all I was saying with this document, it just popped in my head. Like I said, I didn't do the research yet to actually compare these particular census records and the areas where these not Indians, but these slaves are supposedly coming from. Just going along with the narrative that all the slaves came from Africa. It's like, have we compared these not statistics, but these documents as far as these people that are disappearing on the census record and whether or not you can find them on these documents to actually track where it was happening, like in real time, as far as like, because we know when we see the census record, we know we see colored, mulatto, Black, etc. But as far as being able to compare it to the actual manifest to say, okay, possibly there was a war that happened here. Because, how you say some after the war, they were enslaved in place, made bondsmen or whatever. So being able to connect those, that's what I was trying to get to. I haven't done it yet because, like I said, I had just found the documents. I think last week is when I called you, when you were on your live. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't sure if you had seen this particular ones where it had the declaration that they weren't supposed to be from outside of the U.S. And so it was just, in my head, I'm thinking all these different things to research to see if there's any connection to. But yeah, that's why I was calling you.
Yeah, most of and that's why the research is so important. I'm only able to do what I do so successfully, whereas others may find difficulty or never reach the same conclusion because, I've become an expert on colonial history, American Indian history, especially as it relates to the tribes of the East Coast and the Southeast who were racially reclassified. So yeah, it's one thing to be able to source these manifests, to source these census records, but to know the in-depth, not even colonial, sometimes it's the pre-colonial history of these areas. That's what you really have to have context on so you can make all the pieces fit together.
Right.
But yep, if you need personalized guidance, you already know what to do.
All righty.
All right, it was nice chatting with you. Take it easy.
You too. Uh-huh.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
I wish the trolls would have called in. We got one troll in the chat. Reason says a reclassification made to subjugate two different people doesn't prove Black people were native to America. Okay. You're clearly mentally retarded, so I'm going to slow this down for you. If indigenous tribes were reclassified to mulatto, and then from mulatto classified to Negro, then from Negro reclassified to Black, then from Black reclassified to African American, then you know what that means? Then that means there's African Americans whose ancestors were previously listed as Black, and before that, they were listed as Negro. And before that, they were listed as mulatto. And originally, they were recognized as indigenous. Dummy. What are we talking about? This is the most paradoxical comment I've ever got. Oh, Indians were reclassified as Black, but that doesn't mean Black people were Indians. You don't have enough IQ to call into my show. Please stay in the comment section. That's the type of person I don't even want to have a conversation with. I think I would literally lose brain cells. Jesus. Whew. I'm surprised you even know how to work your smartphone. Okay, come on. Shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. Make sure to check out the website nativeblackancestry.com if you need personalized guidance with genealogy, understanding American Indian history, and where your ancestors fit into that history. If anybody's new, just tuning in for the first time, my name is Mike. I'm a full-time genealogist, digital archivist, and me and my family are Muskogee Creek Indians and recognized as citizens of the Muskogee Creek Nation. I actually descend from one of the prominent chiefs of the tribe, Thomas Jefferson Adams Harjo. But guys, check out the website, subscribe, stick around, a lot of good content. We're going to go ahead and close out this broadcast by playing a brief testimonial from a mother-daughter duo that I actually had a genealogy consultation with over the weekend. Check it out. Real people, real results. What can I say?
Well, I've met Mike through Mike TV via YouTube because I just know that there was more to just my skin color is deeper than that, and he helped me understand a better. He helped me understand my heritage and that we're not all from Africa or transatlantic, came over here this way, whatever. So he helped us dig deeper into our roots and our lineage. So thanks, Mike.
For me, I was watching through YouTube and I'm so elated and so glad that I came across Mike's TV. And in this little time that I had a chance to speak with him and talk with him and listen to his explanation of how we became who we are and why we are who we are today in this country and the things that we've gone through. He just opened a whole can of worms, just gave me such an enlightenment of who I am. So I am really, really interested in knowing further about who I am and how history has just been changed from one degree to the next degree. But he has really opened it up. And I'm so glad. I am really motivated through Mike. Mike is, I'm telling you, is a whirlwind of information. So I would recommend anyone that I talk to or see, listen to Mike. He has a phenomenal program there on TV. I tell you, you can't lose. It's a win-win process. And thanks, Mike, for everything. God be with you, that you continue and save you and bless you.
Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British men. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them. And this shit get way deeper than your pigment.